Olori.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. I'd like to first of all say thank you to SDJ for the invitation, and it's a pleasure to be here tonight. When I think about the conversations that affect tomorrow, is that what it is, that shape tomorrow? Yeah. I think about everyone in this room, to be honest, and I believe change really, you have to understand how big, let's start with Nigeria, let's not even do the continent, how big Nigeria is. So when you see a country that has many parts, I think about what I will do, how I'm going to shape what happens tomorrow. I think about what my companies and all the portfolio businesses that, you know, we've been able to build and how they will impact people, right? So I don't think conversations are isolated from the people having them. Do you see what I mean? So I'm looking at that all of you on a Tuesday evening want to be here to talk about what affects your country and your continent. So yeah, that's how I see it. I just see it as the people that are having those conversations and what they're doing on an individual level.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Now, talking about the people gap, I'm going to ask this question, and it is for both E and Olori. For me personally, one of the things I believe is the hardest thing the most is consistency. I mean, it's one of the hardest things. It's not easy. Now, the question is, why do young people struggle with consistency or capability? Why? And what can be done?
Okay, so since Dr. Pat has decided to start with the table, I can now proceed. You see, when we sugarcoat indiscipline as inconsistency, then we've already lost the plot. So I'm an employer of labor. None of my staff outwork me. They are not disciplined enough. They don't even have the goal to be disciplined. They have the goal to be rich. They are not the same. They don't even have a goal to be successful. I'm telling you, even the Christians, they don't have the goal, I repeat, to be successful. They want to be rich. Here's my take on that consistency slash, what was the second? Capability. They have the capability, but they are just not disciplined enough. I have seen this year alone, and I hope my driver's in the room. I told my driver when he started with me about 18 months or so ago, I said, you're going to be here for 3 years. And while you are here, I'm going to take you on a series of transformative behavioral patterns. You can ask him. This is how I speak to him. I don't speak to him like he's from the north because he has capability. She already told us that every human being has the capacity to solve problems. So you can't talk to your gate man or your driver just because life dealt them a hand anyhow. I don't believe that. When he came with a rucksack. That day, I'll never forget, we picked him up on Admiralty Road because he came in by the bus. And this boy, when he started, he came with, you know how, when people start, they come and you're just like, man, I got work to do. So my first travel was within a month of hiring him. I went to Primark in London. I gathered shirts, blue, white, brown, pants, everything. I'm going somewhere because you see, consistency does not just start with, I want to be anything. What are you doing right now? So I had to start with his mind. I started saying to him, you are not this person that is driving me. You are driving a global executive. Hey, his mind started to say, yes, ma. I could see the doubt in the first few months. If I call Solomon for you today, you won't believe. He now has his own businesses. How he even did, in fact, I wanted to tell him that. So he's been doing double job, Abby. Because he comes to me on my birthday, which was like 2 months ago, and he says, Ma, what you said over me, that I would never be poor. Ma, I've never been poor since the day you prayed that prayer. And now I have my farm. I have different jobs that he's clearing container. I said, container, my driver. He came as a young boy, but I told him this week, I said, you are one of the few people that spend the most time with me when I'm in Lagos, because we are always on the road together. Consistency starts with what you see every day. If you check my history on YouTube, you will know who I am. You don't need to check you in terms of what am I listening to. Consistency starts with, and again, it starts with even what you're scrolling on wherever you're scrolling, because we all have where we're scrolling. Let's not lie. We're all addicts. Celebrates you. All right. But my thing here is that ability for us to say, I'm going to do this differently. Do you think I want to go to school? Let me be real with you. Whenever there's a program, they say, oh, Olori, I think you are suited for this program. The U.S. consulate will call me. Olori, I think, after a while, I says, please, sir, I don't like school. Don't put me on program again. Put me on accelerator that is more entrepreneurial. Because I even realized that some of these things are quotas, but we'll come to that another day, right? So I'm just saying that your consistency lies in what you see every day. There are some images I've had in my mind for years. Till I was moving close to them, I didn't know. Until I looked back. And then I saw that I've come afar. Question, who are you listening to? And that sounds like a very generic question, but I mean it. My children now, we're having to change what the school, potential, because you spoke about that, versus the consistency. It's the hardest thing. Anybody dealing with that issue as a parent, where you want your children to be a certain way, but the educational system in Nigeria is doing like this with the work I'm trying to do. I don't know if there's anyone. Are you facing that? Like, I'm like, this school, what are you teaching this boy? Because he won't use it eventually. But let me rest the case.
Olori, before I allow he to talk, I believe there will be somebody listening to us right now, and then they'll be like, what exactly, apart from the words you mentioned to your driver every time, that you will never be poor? Yeah. What are those things that you did intentionally to guide him, ensuring that the conversation you were having with him then transformed him into what he has become now in the future?
Correction. I correct him whenever he goes off. You see, he is on one of my portfolio companies, He gave me one advice in our last conversation in August. He said, Olori, don't do this. He didn't say it like that, but that's what I heard. And he told me what to then do. I have done it. I take correction. Your inability for somebody to just say, no, you didn't do good. That was not well done. In people's mind, and they've arrived. Everybody has arrived. I know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. It is difficult for me to help younger, even my friends. Let me break the table, Jare. Even my friends are not doing some things, and I'm like, sister, this thing is not really working, no. But you can't tell them because everyone's got that, So my thing is, I correct people that I believe I have the audacity to correct. So if I still thought about it on my way here. I saw something, and I thought, I don't have the right to tell this person not to do it this way. I don't have the audacity. So who has the audacity to tell you that you're doing it wrong and you will accept it? And you won't go like, why does Olori just want to correct me every time?
Thank you.
My answer.
Olori's answer, right?
Yeah.
What's the answer?
Empathy.
Fantastic. So I'll ask another question.
Please.
And the question is, how can young Africans build credibility and resilience in a volatile environment? As a business person,
read the first question, first part.
How can young people, or let me say young Nigerians, or young people in the room here, how can they build credibility and resilience?
No, Demola, walk with me.
Okay.
Credibility. Very good.
All
Let's
right.
start there. Don't go on ChatGPT to redo your resume. for a role that you yourself know you are not good at. It starts with little things like that. I've seen things now that because technology is making things, it's like tech is like a free pass now.
Yeah.
I can become. You are not. You can become, but don't lie. Don't lie. I've seen, and I'm dealing with instances like this. That's why I told you to take it one at a time.
Yeah.
You see, that credibility thing, your work affects some of us who are in the global space all the time. Was it last week? Because we just got a legislative bill passed in Detroit to set up an Africa trade hub, right? The bill was passed, thanks be to God, all of that. Do you know that when we started out with the retail roadmap, and I'm telling you how this credibility thing has just been, the fact that you are a Nigerian, they would double check or hiss depending on where you are. But it's because somebody did something that made them doubt who we are as a people. How can I be in a meeting with Americans, African Americans, Africans, and the moment they hear that the team in Nigeria, which I'm, part of, we were the ones that got the bill passed. The person on the other end, who is Nigerian, but Nigerian, those ones, she says, oh, if that's the case, then I'm not sure that we are the people that they can work with. My Delta self wanted to come out, but I said we're on a call. I said, well, Kemi, I can assure you that I'm not one of them. And you can check my history. I'm not going to tell Kemi, if I have not raised, or if I don't have a 10 billion portfolio, $10 billion US portfolio, I won't say I have it. I won't say I've raised $3 million I won't put it so that I can get the job. Make sure what you are putting out there as to what you are doing is what you can do. Let it be that. Don't let ChatGPT now come and turn you into somebody that you are not. Are you getting my point? And I'm using that example because that's also causing problems, right? What's the second one? Credibility.
And resilience.
Resilience. I'm going to say this because I've been meaning to say this throughout this panel session. It's hard out there. I'm not going to lie. I'm a Christian. I'm, in fact, a pastor's wife. Oh. But he's just saying these things like he sits for 4 hours. What is making him sit for 4 hours? Have you asked? Say, what are the things that his mind is thinking, what kind of roadblocks are these? How will I go through them? I'm telling you, you have to do 10 times the work. In some spaces like Nigeria, being called a Nigerian British was a way I got into some rooms. What is that? I'm telling you that if all you have, my grandmother raised me in some parts of Lagos. Let's not talk about that in this meeting, right? And one of the things I realized that it was from the streets of Ladipo that built the resilience to stay in Washington. You don't understand. I belong there. You don't get my point. You can't intimidate. I've passed that level now. You know those imposter things. When I look at Ladipo, I'm like, I don't belong there. It's here I belong. You don't understand. I belong here. You can't out-talk me, hey, you one president. We meet them every month. When you travel, you see one president. In fact, the president can say, hello, dear. They can't do that usually. Those things, don't let them flatter. Don't let people make you think it's not achievable. Are you getting my point? But I'm saying you're going to have to do the work. Don't let ChatGPT make you someone that you are not yet. Put in the work for the resilience to really come through, right? You are in Nigeria. Time is going, I know. You are in Nigeria. Anytime my mentees want to be acting somehow, I tell them, your own playing field, I send most of them to go and do masters. I open those doors. I tell them, I say, look, this version of you will constantly be a servant if you don't make the way. Wow. I'm telling you. You will, when they say you'll be serving and doing like this, I know what I'm saying. This thing that Dr. Pat mentioned about the education system and how, what she said, maybe you didn't understand, that even with your educational system, you are at a disadvantage on some playing fields. Why is, the last speaker said he went to Harvard. Why did he go? Why didn't he rely on the mass comm from Unilag? Why? I'm just asking. Because life is about leverage. It's about leverage. Labor, capital, code, media, all those things are leverage. Which one you get? Celebrate you.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for her. You know, Olori, you mentioned something, and I don't know how best to react to it. But the question in my heart is, why Kemi?
Which one? As in abroad? Or why did we choose her?
You didn't get it.
Okay, tell me.
You didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Who got it?
Did anyone get it? They didn't get it.
Why
See,
Kemi? Why Kemi? Huh? Huh?
No, he's
yeah. You know, she mentioned something. This is US, and it was Kemi.
Yes.
And I believe if I mention another Kemi, do you now understand?
Ah, right.
All right. Let's not go there.
Please, so we're on national. What are we on?
No,
an international.
All right. You know, my lecturer one time always tell us that if we ignore little things, little things, we die little by little. And some of these conversations that we are having here, they are the little things that actually build us up. And then I don't just want us to take it as a conversation. Finally, the last word, I just want Olori to mention something you wish you had while growing up, but you never had the opportunity to. And then we close on that note.
Exactly.
ChatGPT just
that answer is my answer. That answer, that's the answer. It's a bit of a tricky one. Agreed. What I wish I knew growing up is, oh gosh, it's such a good question. And I'll keep it simple.
Okay.
Is that you belong in everything God has put in your hands.
Fantastic.
In everything that He's put in your heart, you belong there. So I've learned to embrace it, and that's how I got into every place, because I believed I belonged there.
Fantastic. I love that. Thank you very much.
All right. Please put your hands together for our
Olori,
panelists
Dr. Pat,
and
thank you
the
very much.
moderator. No, I think we should